Welcome to a new episode of Nails from A to Z. This episode is powered by Glossary Live.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Social Stars on glossarylive.com. I'm joined today by Michelle Soto, who is currently residing in Orlando, Florida. She's a nail artist and one of the lead educators for Valentino Beauty Pure. So I wanted to talk to Michelle today. Hello, Michelle. Welcome.
Hi, Alex, and hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for talking to me today, because I find you quite an exciting and intriguing nail artist, and I wanted to share your story with the rest of the nail world. Because Michelle Soto, who known on Instagram as Shelley's_nails, has got the most incredible personal following of over 320,000 people on Instagram. And that can amount, by the way, to over 45,000 views just on one reel.
That platform opened up a huge universe into the nail industry where I started seeing other techs and I started seeing other artists, and I found David in Instagram.
We'll just highlight, you're talking about David Di Lorenzo of Valentino. That's
yes.
You spotted. Okay, that's when you first came across him.
Yes. So I would see his videos, and he's a hype guy. He's very, he has all this energy. And he was bringing in a gel company. They only had their dust mount, the vents, the ventilation system. Mm-hmm. That's what Valentino had at that moment. So they were bringing in this gel company. And I was always very interested in gel because for me, I had a very hard time at the beginning trying to do gel. It was watery. It was a very different consistency back then. Now, obviously, we have better products, of course. So because I wanted to dive into gel, I believe that as a nail artist, I wanted to learn every technique. I wanted to be able to give a customer anything that they would want, mm-hmm. from natural nails, from enhancements, from gel enhancements, from any type of product in the nail industry, I wanted to learn about. I decided to go to the training that he was offering from the gel company. It was the first one. I didn't have that much, means of income or money. So I saved my little coins and I I paid for the class and I went to the training. Like I said, I just had came from Puerto Rico. So I didn't know anyone here. I didn't know who was who. I didn't know any artists. I didn't know anyone. But that room was full of famous people. And I had no clue. Najo is there and like a whole bunch of people that I would see on TV. I was like, oh, wow. I was like blown away with all that these new things. So when I went to that training, David was sitting behind me in another group, and he saw my nails and he was attracted to the nails. And he went up to me and he started speaking to me and asking me about, hey, you should join this competition that we have going on here for the nail battle. And I said, well, actually, I already joined the competition. I submitted my entry. He's like, really? Then who are you? And I had no pictures of myself. So no one knew who was the face behind the work. So I told him, I'm Shelley's Nails. He's like, Shelley's Nails. So he starts looking it up. He didn't tell me anything, but I was his favorite entry. He loved my work. David is very artistic and he gravitates towards art, and he loved my work, but he didn't know who I was. Right off of there, he kept on talking to me and then said, hey, you have a lot of talent. Why don't you try to be an educator for the company, the gel company, since they offered more education towards being an educator. That was one of the options. And I said, yeah, actually, I am interested. Let's see what I can do. And that was it. from there on forward, I did go with the trainings. I did everything, and I ended up being one of their educators. It was a very intense educating program. I would say Japan is very intense.
Mm-hmm.
So I did complete, I did pass, I became an educator for them. David had this brand.
What time frame are you talking about here? Because obviously you're saying you happened upon David very early days coming into the USA.
Right.
So what's the time frame we're looking at?
So look, I came here in June 2014, and I did the training in October 2014.
Oh, wow. Small time frame. Wow.
Yes. Basically just a couple of months. I was an island girl. I didn't know anything about anyone. I didn't know anyone. So till this day, Alex, I don't know a lot of people on social media. Even though I have a huge following, I don't focus that much on being on it. I post and I get out because social media sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And you can get unfocused from it. So I'm very consistent with it, but I don't stay hours. I don't have the time either. I don't have the time either. So basically from there on forward, I've been working with David. And then, I don't remember the year exactly where he asked me about acrylic. And he said, hey, Shelly, since I have the knowledge, the experience and everything, he's like, what do you think if you help me launch acrylic for my brand?
2017. I think 2017, Michelle, actually.
I think it was. It's been a while. It seems like it was yesterday, but time flies.
It does.
So he asked me about it and I'm like, sure, let's go on and do it. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I helped him with the acrylic to launch the acrylic for Valentino. And honestly, we make a great team. We make a very great team. And David just lets us, be creators. He doesn't hold anything. It's the total opposite. He's like a cheerleader, you know? He's like, hey, I believe in you. I know you can do it. And sometimes when I didn't even believe in myself, he's like, if I chose you and if you're this, and that, I believe in you. And the same I would do for him. Sometimes he was, and I'm like, hey, I believe in you. Come on, you did this, you did that. So we make a great team.
So how is the role? Because I know that you're very heavily involved in the education, and I know that you've, during the pandemic, taken many of your classes, rewritten them and made them work online during the last couple of years. So do you want to talk a bit about the education side that you run and the wider role that you do? Because you do seem to be very involved in the full Valentino picture, don't you?
Yes. When the pandemic happened, I think it was a hit of reality for a lot of people. And not only that, it made you go to the extreme, not knowing that was meant for you all the time. Me personally, I wanted to dive in more into online things, but I wouldn't dare. I was scared. Normal. It's normal. You know, you have your salon, you have a steady income that comes from the salon. You have a lot of work. You want to focus on other things, but you can't because you don't have that time. Mm-hmm. So when the pandemic happened, it pushed me into moving into the online world. I wanted I would say I wanted to leave the salon life, like being behind that chair constantly. And I wanted to do more education for others because I see the lack of education and practice, especially here in the US. They go to nail school and they really don't learn anything. So I've seen the lack of education and practical. So I said, I want to do that more. Pandemic helped me do that more. Mm-hmm. I left the salon completely and I don't work at the salon anymore.
Oh, really?
At all. No, I don't. So David I would tell David this, look, I want to focus more on doing this. You know, we can see the lack of a lot of things and we want to help. I know for me, when I started, it was difficult because no one would actually teach you and would want to like teach you everything that they would know. People tend to keep things for themselves. And I believe there's a person and there's so much work for everyone. Like, why keep things to ourselves? So I'm not selfish when it comes to that. I like teaching and I'll give you my everything. I wish it was like that for me when I started, because probably I would have been at this level that I am right now earlier in time, but things happen for a reason. David, this was my opportunity, even though I was working with Valentino always. Now, after the pandemic, is when I'm really like completely invested in Valentino. Because of the pandemic and because I can work remotely from home, and I'll only go to the office once a month. I'll stay there for 3 to 4 days in the office. It's only like 2.5 hours away. And then everything else, I'm working remotely from home, from content creation, from product development, from knowledge and quality control of the product, from all the Q&A questions and nail knowledge, education, educator, ambassador. I wear multiple hats. So basically,
that's a lot of hats, Michelle. That's a lot of hats.
So wherever I'm needed in Valentino, that's where I am.
It leads me to the question, how is it that I noticed that you post daily and the nails, you're not posting one nail, you're posting 5 nails, a beautiful photo of 5 nails pretty much every single day. So where on earth, because it can't take 5 minutes to make those sets of nails.
No.
Where do you fit in? Can you give us an idea of a typical day, just so we can wrap our brains around what you actually do?
Let me give a quick run about my typical day. Yeah. So I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. I take my youngest to school. She's in 5th grade. I have 2 older boys. They're in university and in high school. So I don't have to pay attention to them. Not that much. I take my little one to school. I come back. I'm already logged in the computer, working with anything that I need to work with for Valentino, in the creation side and everything. I have to cook. I'm at home. So working at home sometimes is not that great because everyone thinks that you're not doing anything. So they want me to cook as a mom and as a wife. So I have to cook in between work. You know, we juggle 10 things at a time. And then I have to go back. Time flies. So I have to go back and pick up my daughter back in school. And then I would say after 3:30, 4:30-ish, I'm like clocking out almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon from Valentino. And later at night is when I create all my nail designs. I would say I'm most creative at night. I don't know what it is, but my brain is just exploding. I even dream about nails. I wake up, designs. I get inspired a lot by dreams, I would say, in a lot of my nail designs. And I see nail designs and art everywhere. Everywhere that I look, I just see something. So I tend to carry like a little notebook, either in my bag and in my night table. So when I wake up, I'm like sketching and drawing. I'm gonna be very honest, Alex, I have a lot of stuff in that notebook. And if I actually make a 1% of whatever I have there on a set, because I don't have time.
You actually dream in nails, Michelle.
Yes, I do. We eat, we breathe, everything nails. I think it's that creative. I can't have that switch that I can just shut it off. So that also, I have lack of sleeping because I can't shut off my brain off of creating. I'm constantly in my brain creating. Okay, what am I going to do? Okay, this, that. I just have so many ideas that run through this brain, and then I can't seem to just shut it off at night. So at night is when I'm sketching and drawing and thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow. And basically, I feel like I work every day. I try to disconnect myself on the weekends and give the weekends just to my family.
Mm-hmm. That's always a good idea. That's a really, really good idea, because you do, Michelle, you do have to have work-life balance. And as much as I love the idea of you sketching nails in the middle of the night, you you also do need to sleep sometimes. Oh my goodness. So when do you, if you're drawing them in the middle of the night, when are you actually creating them though? Because these nails are liquid powder, they're colored acrylics, they're
it's
stunning designs you're doing here.
And different techniques. Usually I would say that typically I start after 5. Sometimes I'm sitting at the table around 6 or 7, and then I'll just stay there creating for hours. And my husband is like, "Hey, are you not coming to bed?" I'm like, "I'm creating." So usually I'll be done between 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll just try to do multiple sets. And I also have a couple of models that I set dates specifically just to work on those models.
Okay. So I think this leads us into you giving us some hot tips because as I mentioned earlier, you've got over 320,000 followers. You're getting on average 6,000 likes on a set of nails. What do you think is the secret to your success and this expansive growth that you've experienced in a short space of time?
Consistency. Consistency is key for anything that you want to do in life. With social media is being very consistent in what you're posting. Basically, try to juggle and if you don't have that time, do that 1 day or 2 days of creating and spacing it out for you to post on a daily basis. If you don't post on a daily basis, you'll lose engagement. People will forget about you. And social media is a constant evolving thing where if you don't keep up with the trends, you fall. So it's consistency above all. Consistency in your posting, consistency in your work, that people actually see that you're consistent in your work, because you might post a picture that's beautiful, but then the consistency of that work slacks down a little bit, and then you're posting 3 or 4 more, but they weren't as pretty as that one post that hit. So it's just like trying to create that niche where you're being consistent in everything that you're doing.
Okay, and I also, I know that when we spoke before, Michelle, you mentioned that you've only recently started to delve in the realms of TikTok. So what's your impression of TikTok and how's that working for you?
I'm gonna be very honest. I love TikTok. So I had opened TikTok because of my daughter. She's like, "Mom, you should open TikTok." So I opened it, but all I saw was a lot of people just dancing. And I'm like, "Kaylani, I am not dancing."
I have to tell you that I did it once. The first time I went on TikTok, I saw a family doing this groovy dance. And I thought, oh my goodness, I want to be the family. So we tried it, 7 of us. And we must have spent 3 hours trying to get that one dance right. I'm so glad it went on my sister-in-law's TikTok and not on mine, because it was the most god-awful, dreadful dance ever. It was a lot of fun, but I've never done it again because it was shocking. We just couldn't get in that jive at all.
I said, "Kaylee," she wanted to do dances with me. I'm like, "Kaylee, I don't think I'll be able to do that," especially with my nail account. Probably if it was like a family or personal, maybe, because I used to dance a lot. I used to do choreographies and everything as a teenager. I loved dancing and acting.
Then you're going to have to start another Instagram to do.
Acting and dancing was a thing that I used to have. I used to love it. Wow. But so I said, "I'm not dancing. This is my nail page. I don't know." So I started following creators. I followed a lot of accounts that do artwork, and I saw like what they would do. And I'm like, "Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this." And then I started I posted a couple of videos that I had on my phone of work that was already done. just little quick clips. And they did get a lot of views and likes until I started taking it seriously. So when I would say about 3 months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, is when I actually started taking TikTok seriously, and started posting more of the process of doing the work rather than me posting the work already done.
Oh, okay.
So showing the process of doing it, like mini tutorials, people started engaging more with that. And I have videos that have gone viral. I have videos that have more than 8 million views on it. And I grew with.
What were you doing in a post that got 8 million views?
That one, you would be so surprised. It's something very simple. It's just a blue French with white little sparkles. It's just the process of doing that. Something extremely simple. But again, it's something that people can relate to and people can mimic.
You know what I'm thinking, Michelle, because I will tell you something that I've found extraordinary in the same vein is one of the most popular posts that I've seen Glossary Live has posted was Alicia putting on a nail form. Nail form on,
simple,
on, off. It was incredible how that was one of the most popular. And I've come to the conclusion, and so correct me if you think I'm wrong, but TikTok brings the professional nail industry directly into the consumer's front room. And I wonder if it's because it's the detailing and the professional aspect to doing nails that the consumer is just thinking, that's really exciting. I didn't know what a nail form was. So, and when you see the bead going on the nail,
exactly,
they do love when the white tip goes on the acrylic French. So maybe it is bringing this into people's living rooms is where TikTok's winning.
Absolutely. It's a huge platform right now. And just within a couple of months, I have more than 150,000 followers on that one. And
amazing.
Again, is being consistent. I feel like I haven't been consistent in the past week because I haven't been able to post anything, lack of time. But with that also is being consistent. And yes, people can actually see how a nail is done. And then not only that, they can try it at home. So it's that knowledge you're putting in with it showing that it's a little bit easier. At least my videos, the ones that get the most view, are the ones that are a little bit more simple that people can actually mimic and replicate. And I love TikTok right now. I think it's winning over Instagram.
It's a total winner because you find if you go into TikTok though, sometimes you don't come out. You can lose 3 hours of your day.
Oh, yes.
You disappear into TikTok and you don't really come back again from that.
Yes, you lose track of time. You definitely do. You dive in there and it's like, poof.
There's a lot really, and it's not just nails. I dive into the nails, then I dive into people do fantastic things in their kitchen. And so that's where I get lost, in people doing cool stuff in their kitchens. But
I love cooking.
So I know that one of your, because I did an article on you a few months ago, and I know that one of the quotes you gave me, which I really, really liked, and I've got written here, was that your belief as an educator is that you want to get your students skilled and experienced, knowledgeable and capable and ready to service. That's almost your ethos wrapped up in there. And that knowledge and consistency are your really main focal points. So what advice could you give, Michelle, to somebody who might want to tweak their career, take their nail career level? What advice can you give? Because you've obviously got your finger in a lot of nail pies. I mean, they're all Valentino pies, but you've got your finger in all of Valentino's pies, while also, reinventing education because it needed to be reinvented in the last 2 years. What advice can you give? Because you've obviously got a very wise nail, and you're very nail wise.
Well, I would say first thing is focus on yourself. We need to make sure we focus on us and not on everyone else. Social media can have us feel sometimes a certain type of way, can have us feel stuck, can have us feeling overwhelmed, or maybe that we're not good enough. So let's stop focusing on social media, use it more as a platform where you can learn from or where you can get ideas, but don't focus on too much of it, everything being real. Reality is within each of us. So focusing on nail knowledge, actually just try to educate yourself a little bit more. I'm the type of educator that I want to know everything, and everything, when something new comes out, I'm there. I need to take that course. I need to know this. I need to be prepared to be able to show it and to explain it to others. So definitely continuing your education is very, very important. One of my dreams that I had was being able to have my own academy where I would have an internship there inside the academy to get these students ready to work as soon as they finish nail school. Because I can see the lack of practical here. They get a lot of knowledge in a book, but when it comes for them to practice it, they don't know how to do anything. And it's harder for them when they go out on the field and when they start working at a salon, they're only going to put them to do manicures and pedicures. I want my students to be able to grab a brush and make a set, to start making money. So that's always my goal, to teach. I'll give them knowledge, but I'll give them practical as well, because to me, both of them go hand in hand. So definitely continuing in your education, being consistent in what you're doing, because a lot of people start and they never finish, and then they pause and they go back. Therefore, you'll never advance because you're constantly pausing and doing something else and giving up and then going back. So every time you pause and you start again, it's like starting all over from zero.
You see that your philosophy there is absolutely beautifully in line with the Valentino Beauty Pure ethos, isn't it? That it's about nails is a place where you can make a very successful career and make money. Whereas I know that in the past, you know, nail techs on $35 an hour, hairdressers on $100 an hour. It's about stepping that nail tech up to getting the right money for the service, to be valued, to get what they're worth. And I know that that's part of your education philosophy is to teach people what you call salon success is the courses that the series that you did in the pandemic, aren't they?
In the pandemic, yes. Salon success. It was all about the nails that you do at the salon. So let's stop focusing on all this extravagant artistry and all this stuff. We need to do salon work and be able to do salon work correctly, that your client is satisfied and you're making money. That's the whole goal. You make money, you raise up your standards, you can charge what you're worth because you're giving good quality services. Another thing that I teach is how to carry yourself in the salon environment, because we were looked down upon for many years. I want to make sure that when you talk about a nail artist, you see a professional person, you see them succeeding as women, you see them thriving and doing what they love to do, because obviously we do nails, but we love what we do. So why not have everyone look at us and be like, wow, she is just so professional, you know? And yeah, just succeed as women. My goal is always to help.
So Michelle, can people all around the world come and do your courses, or do they need to be part of Valentino? Do they need to be part of using the products and what have you? How does it work to take your courses?
Well, everyone is freely to take the courses. Obviously, what I always recommend, since right now I am not doing courses starting from zero, I would recommend the person to have a little bit of experience in how to use acrylic. And then from there on, I teach them, the latest techniques, shaping, everything else. But yes, it's open. You're not exclusively just have to be working with Valentino. You can have, any type of a product. But yes, absolutely, anyone can join.
Okay, we'll put the details up along there so people can see exactly how to contact you. And so there's the future, looking towards the future and the vision for 2022 and beyond. What exciting things, if any, have you got on the horizon as a brand?
Oh, well, as a brand, we have a couple of surprises throughout the whole year. I'll be collabing with Valentino, so stay tuned for that one, since we will be posting that on my Instagram, on the Valentino Instagram. A lot of good things to come for this year.
Okay, so we just need to keep our eyes peeled to see what's coming.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, thank you so much, Michelle, for spending time talking to me today and sharing your views on education and how to actually master Instagram and how to get your nails out there, your designs out there, and make impact, because we all want to make impact and a positive impact at that, and grow our businesses. So thank you for your time and your expertise today.
Alex, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very honored that you invited me. And here I am always when you need me.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Michelle. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For more nail stuff, don't forget to visit glossarylive.com to find inspiration, trends, step-by-steps, and news. It's all about nails.